Get your facts first, and then you can distort them as much as you please. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. Action speaks louder than words, but not nearly as often. Listening is the greatest life skill. Talking and not listening is the greatest folly. Work like you don't need the money. Dance like no one is watching. And love like you've never been hurt. How little a thing can make us happy when we feel that we have earned it. A sound heart is a surer guide than an ill-trained conscience. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. Be thankful for what you have, and don't stress yourself about what you don't have. Life won't give you what you don't have until you're grateful for what you have. As soon as one is at rest in this world, he goes on something else to worry about. When I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much the old man had learned in 7 years. A wise man silently cuts off 3 types of people: those who borrow and never return, those who promise and never deliver, and those who listen but never hear. You can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming. Politicians and diapers must be changed often, and for the same reason. A clear conscience is the sure sign of a bad memory. Memories which someday will become all beautiful when the last annoyance that encumbers them shall have faded out of our minds. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. The secret source of humor itself is not joy but sorrow. Honesty, the best of all the lost arts. Commitment is what gets you started. Consistency is what gets you somewhere, and persistence is what keeps you going. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Any emotion, if it is sincere, is involuntary. The most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. The more I learn about people, the more I like my dog. Do not complain about growing old. It is a privilege denied to many. Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Noise proves nothing. Often a hen who has laid an egg cackles as if she had laid an asteroid. Wrinkles should merely indicate where the smiles have been. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. You meet people who forget you. You forget the people you meet. But sometimes you meet those people you can't forget. Those are your friends. The man who does not read has no advantage over the man who cannot read. It's better to be an optimist who is sometimes wrong than a pessimist who is almost always right. By trying, we can easily learn to endure adversity. The man who is a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. A banker is a fellow who lends you his umbrella when the sun is shining, but wants it back the minute it begins to rain. Always acknowledge fault frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. If you have to swallow a frog, don't stare at it too long. Buy land. They're not making it anymore. Don't make promises if you have no intention to fulfill them. It might not mean anything to you, but it could mean the whole world to someone else. We have permanent habits until we are 40. Then they begin to harden. Presently, they petrify. Then business begins. We should be careful to get out of an experience only the wisdom that is in it, and stop there. Be careless in your dress if you must, but keep a tidy soul. You can't reason with your heart. It has its own laws and thumps about things which the intellect scorns. It is the little conveniences that make the real comfort of life. There are people who can do all fine and heroic things but one: keep from telling their happiness to the unhappy. When in doubt, tell the truth. It will confound your enemies and astound your friends. The secret of success is making your vocation your vacation. A lie can travel halfway around the world, while the truth is putting its shoes on. You don't find your purpose somewhere else. You create your purpose exactly where you are, and you bear meaning to it. The man with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. Unexpected money is a delight. The same sum is a bitterness when you expect more. The difference between the almost right word and the right word is really a large matter. It's the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. It is human to exaggerate the merits of the dead. Continued improvement is better than delayed perfection. Never tell the truth to people who are not worthy of it. The weakest of all weak things is a virtue which has not been tested in the fire. Grief can take care of itself, but to get full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Good breeding consists in concealing how much we think of ourselves and how little we think of the other person. The full belly is little worth where the mind is starved. The ability to find solutions to life's challenges is what makes us grow as a person. To be busy is man's only happiness. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. This is the ideal life. I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. The lack of money is the root of all evil. Worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. Kiss slowly. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably. And never regret anything that makes you smile. Circumstances make man, not man's circumstances. The trouble is not in dying for a friend, but in finding a friend worth dying for. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. There is no easy or quick plan to happiness. There is no single spot where you can start. Where you are right now is the best place to begin. Of all the animals, man is the only one that is cruel. He is the only one that inflicts pain for the pleasure of doing it. It's better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than open it and remove all doubt. A half-truth is the most cowardly of lies. When you fish for love, bait with your heart, not your brain. Always do what is right. It will gratify half of mankind and astound the other. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Man will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. Do right, and you will be conspicuous. It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. A man should not be without morals. It is better to have bad morals than none at all.